The new Gohan Goten and Trunks just got announced, but please save your coins before this unit drops. If you do remember, they already told us with the coins that were inside of the game already, they specifically said, please note that more characters will become available for exchange as new summon periods are released during the campaign period. Right? Well, we just got a new news notification, and what's there? That the Global Part EX is coming soon, and that Gohan is part of the EX. So it's not a new celebration. It is still part of the Global Dokkan campaign. Because of that, I have a high, like 90% chance likelihood of it being added to this, because why else would they specifically say, no, you can't, like, there's not going to be more summonable characters that are going to be added in the future during part 2 of the anniversary, but then the Global Dokkan is here, and it's like, oh, by the way, more summonable characters will be released later on. So it leads me to believe that this will be a part of it. So I would wait. I would hold on to your period of time and wait to see if that is what it's going to be, especially because it says that the exchange period is going to be to the 18th anyways. So hold on to your coins, because the banners are going to be dropping in 2 days. See if they're a part of that, and then if you do want to coin them, then I think you should. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about if you should coin these LRs versus the other ones. I do think there is a strong argument for getting something like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta instead, especially if we go ahead and look at something like the categories, right? If we just check youth, which is the thing that this is going to be buffing the most, there's not too many options here that are going to be like getting a tremendous buff. Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is definitely going to feel this buff a lot. Physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, we just kind of showcased him a bit, but I don't think he'll see too much like use from it. Doesn't Pan also buff youth as well? Yeah, this is going to be a nice addition to the youth team as well. The who else is there that was like pretty high up? Oh yeah, AGL Kid Goku. I almost said Gohan. But AGL Kid Goku, the thing that is that like, he already gets an extra 30% attack and defense in battle. So pair that with the new Gohan unit, who's going to be just doing that, except giving an additional 40% if you run 2 of the same units. It's 20% times 2. That's going to be a pretty helpful thing for this character, right? Especially because you're going to be wanting to run youth anyways. Like, youth is a part of his intro. That's when he gets the additional super attack. That's when he gets the 40% damage reduction. That's when it helps this guy look as good as he is, right? So that's something that's to think about as well. Another thing that I saw, I think Monato's Flash, another YouTuber that you guys should all follow, talked about, is we might be able to just pair it with this guy. Remember that after EZA, he's going to be changing Tech Key Spheres to Int. He's going to be changing another Key Sphere type to Rainbow. And sure, you're going to be wanting to give him as much key spheres as possible, but it's not linked to just being int. It's just any key sphere on top of that, right? So because of that, and then also on top of that, you also get this too, which is going to be nice. So on top of that, when you're running the Gohan and you want to be trying to get his 12 int key spheres or 5 rainbow key spheres as much as possible, so that he's able to get that defense, he's able to get that damage reduction for the turn, and then he's able to get that support, you just run this guy, and then you just have to make sure that you're protecting him and hopefully able to live the attacks with this character, right? So it's another person that's going to be pretty nice to have. We'll have to see, though. I think Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta is also going to be returning, who like I don't know if he's going to be pairing too well with these guys. Like, Hybrid Saiyan and Youth is what they want you to definitely use, right? Specifically just youth, I would say the most, but Hybrid Saiyan is definitely another big one on there, especially when we look at the Goten and Trunks. And if you have a full youth team, because it's not like capped off, if you have a full youth team, he has 70% dodge chance, and then on top of that, when you're receiving an attack that's a super, you get 85% dodge chance because of it. And then even on top of that, you're also giving an additional 5% to youth category allies for 2 turns. So what you can have happen, right, is if you have 2 of these Goten and Trunkses on separate rotations, you can just be buffing both of them by an extra 5% and make that a clean 90% against super attacks. And I think that's pretty interesting for sure. And also on top of that, physical Goten and Trunks are just going to be another really nice option to run with this character, which if you have a lot of these guys, I feel like it might just be a better option to do that versus a lot of these. Well, I should probably just pull up characters instead, or cards, because it's hard to say. I want to say that you probably should just get Super Saiyan Blues no matter what, but we haven't had a Hybrid Saiyans leader in such a long time that it might not just be the worst thing in the world to just coin this guy instead. And youth, especially when a lot of these, again, newer cards are all kind of youth cards. The AGO Kid Goku, we have the physical Goten and Trunks EZA. We're going to have the AGO Goten and Trunks EZA as well. We probably are going to see this AGO Kid Gohan get an EZA as well sometime soon. Like, there's a lot of new options that are going to be added to this team. And on top of that, again, just like this character gets a 100% dodge chance on turn 1 once you go to swap into them. I think that's crazy. But like I don't know if I would really recommend it over like Super Saiyan Blue Goku, because Fuse Fighters is just crazy. It's just gonna always be such a crazy team. They always make these fusions just insanely broken. Future Saga just got a whole bunch of buffs as well that it's hard to say like, oh yeah, AGO Goten and Trunks is going to be as good as Vegeta and Trunks, right? I like, it's just, it's so hard for me to say that it's going to be something. But regardless, I do think that I'm probably going to be just coining these units. Like I said, when I like both physical Goten and Trunks, who again can just get 50% dodge chance here. They could get the 30% dodge chance here, so they can get up to 80% dodge chance. On top of that, when you dodge with this character, you're going to get 5%, so that again, if you're running 2 of the Goten and Trunkses and they both dodge a super attack, or they're both getting hit with a super attack, they'll be able to get 90% dodge chance on the physical Goten and Trunks when they're able to tank normals with relative ease, because the net damage reduction down here, plus the just a tremendous amount of stats here, tremendous amount of stats here as well. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. You're always going to have this active now. Before, it was really hard to run a Trunks or Goten, but now you're always going to have that too. Oh my god, you know who that also buffs is too? I just realized they're going to buff the damage reduction ones. These ones are going to be really busted as hell too, because they need another Trunks or Goten, depending on which one you're talking about, and then they can get 80% damage reduction. But then when you pop the active skill and you're giving 20% extra attack and defense to a lot of these characters, oh my god. Yeah, I'm still disappointed it's not Daima. I'm a little bit disappointed it's not that. But hey, they're really good though. I think that I'm probably just gonna coin them myself, especially because since this is like a part EX, I don't know if they'll be back on the anniversary banner. That's another thing to think about, is if this is technically like the quote-unquote Tanabata LR in a sense, we don't know when they're gonna return. If it's gonna be like anniversary or it's gonna be past anniversary, so that's another thing to think about as well. But let me know, are you guys going to be using your coins on the new Gohan unit or the Goten and Trunks unit, or are you going to be using it on some other units that you have? I am personally, like I said, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and grab a copy of Super Saiyan Blue Goku because I have like 1,000 coins, and then I'll save it for Gohan and Trunks and Goten, and if they are able to be used with the coins, like I said, I think there's a really high likelihood. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.